Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to assemble a model kit, and I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego to the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes, and if you feel like being a lurker, well, you can just go ahead and lurk. That's also okay. John is here. Hello, John. Welcome, welcome. It's a Thursday. It's my last night in this room. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Tomorrow, I will begin moving all of the stuff here back into my bedroom where I normally stream out of, as many of you are aware. So I'll be back to business in there. My folks returned from Florida on Sunday, and I didn't want to have to move all my stuff back into the room after Saturday night stream. So instead, I'll take time so I can get like the overhead camera done right. Like at this point, I've got the process down pretty well. Like I'm going to unplug my camera, but I'm going to leave the stand on the table that it sits on and just move the whole table. And I'm going to put some tape so I can kind of guesstimate where it should be. But I'm going to do that, which will just make my life a lot easier. I don't have to disassemble. It's one thing I don't have to disassemble. And that'll be nice. But yeah, I'm going to move all my stuff back in there on Friday, and Friday night record the next episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club from that room. I thought about doing it today. I did my Q&A for my Patreon Q&A today instead. And then I'm going to do the Anime Club video tomorrow from my room, because that way I can get the at the very least I can get the webcam set up and feel good about that, and then I can figure out the other stuff that I have to do from there. I think I'll just have to my webcam's a little more zoomed in out here than it will be in there because it's just the way things are set up. But for the most part, it'll be very easy to move all my stuff back in to the other room, and then I'll be back in there. Let's go to the overhead camera. We're working on the Action Edition Megatron from BLOKEES. I am excited to work on this kit, to continue working on it. If you have not seen, this is Megatron. Megatron does have a light up part that is included as part of the kit, which is neat. To activate it, you take your Decepticon logo here, and you tap this, and boom, the eyes light up. And the Decepticon logo lights up, and then turn that off. You hit it there. I believe that is just a simple little watch battery. You can replace that, although you would have to completely disassemble the kit in order to reach that. They do not make that easy. There's not like a thing where you pull the backpack off and you can just get at it, which is fine because theoretically it'll last a very long time because you're not going to leave it on. You're just turning it on now and again. And then this, I believe, will hopefully be able to fit in the base that we will be constructing, the throne, I should say. And then for comparison's sake, before we get into working on the other hand, this is the Shockwave. This is the classic class, which is their lower end. There are two classes for this, and you can just kind of get a sense of this is going to be a big kit comparative between the two. If I had a classic class Megatron, we could compare it very well between the two, but I don't have that. I have Shockwave because I wanted to build Shockwave. Because I thought that if it turns out these kits sucked, at least the Shockwave would be cool to have, because this is not a kit I had in Transformers action figure form. I've never had this as an action figure. I've only had it now as a model kit. Certainly. So I was like, oh, well, I've never had a Shockwave, so that's kind of neat. Click that off, check that off all the old bucket list. Let's assemble some more hand here. As I mentioned, I will be returning to my bedroom, which is bittersweet. I am excited to see my folks again. I've been, talking with them on the phone and all that. But I'm excited to have them back and to live in a house where I am not the only person in the house. Because it turns out my mental stability is worse. It's also this time of year. It's been cold and rainy, so I haven't been going out of the house as much as I would like. And that has a negative impact on my my ability to, thought processes and work and all that. So that has been bad, certainly. That's not great. So that doesn't help. But yeah, just in general, like it'd be good to see them. That being said, having my workspace outside of the room that I sleep in fucking rules, and I love it so much. If I could, I couldn't be out here where I am right now. Couldn't be out here. I could not. Oh fuck. No, I found it. Never mind. Hold on. I found it. Gotta be careful. That thing fucking flew. But luckily I found it. I couldn't be out here all the time when they're home. So like that's not going to work. This is not a viable idea. But we do have an office. We do have another room that does have like a love seat in it, so you can use it as another bedroom. We do have the office, and it really is just storage. I have worked out of there a couple times because we had family come and visit, and they stayed in the house, in the room that I stay in. And so I have moved in onto the love seat bed. Hey, Lord Crashington. So I've done that when they have visited, which was fine. And I set up my computer in there. Now, to use my computer with the desk setup that I have and have the bed is kind of frustrating. It makes that room very small to do both. But if I was just keeping the love seat as a love seat and not using it as a bed, like that would be real easy to just make that like my full-time living arrangements. Like that would be pretty fucking solid if I could do that. Again, I'm not saying that is a likely scenario that I could just move my equipment in there and not and work out of that room. Like that's probably not feasible, not likely. So I'm not counting on that, but it would be nice. C2. 6. Here we go. So I'm not counting on that being a thing, but it will be nice. It is colder in here. One of the only benefits to having my computer in the same room that I sleep in a small room, is 3 monitors, the exhaust off the actual computer, it being a small room. It gets warm in there, and that is nice in the wintertime. And it's carpeted, whereas I'm on tile here, and that's not as nice in the winter. So there are certain benefits to be in there. The biggest benefit, besides my workspace and my sleep space being different, which is, again, real nice, the other big benefit is that I'm on a wired internet connection. I've had a few blips and bloops here. That's just from, just wear and tear of internet connections and all that. This is not the strongest internet, but my download speed is so great, and my upload speed is the same, just about, but consistent. Like, my Wi-Fi here is good enough, the booster is good enough that the upload speed is the same on wired and Wi-Fi, but it's consistent, it's not dropping out, it just works the whole time. I don't have to refresh anything throughout the day. If I have the dashboard here for Twitch open, which I often do. If I have that open, we're moving on to the legs, I should say. We're moving on to the legs here. We're doing the left leg. If I am, what was I going to say? I don't remember what I was talking about here. Oh, if I have the dashboard open on Twitch, when I get disconnected, it pops up and reconnects and says, "Welcome to chat room." And sometimes it will say that a couple times that some kind of stutter happened with my internet and it disconnected me apparently a couple times, which is, not ideal. I would go so far as to say that is less than ideal, and you might want to even call that bad. Sometimes it's bad. And I don't really have that here in this setup. So that's been excellent. That has been really nice to not have to worry about that stuff. Again, there is no good way. There's a cable hookup in my parents' room, which is across the hall from me. So I could move the router in there, and then the Wi-Fi would be better, but it still wouldn't be like good. The Wi-Fi wouldn't be excellent if it was there. But if we do get better internet, and we have to get like if we get fiber, which is what I would like, I would want them to run that into my bedroom. Because that would be, then I could have a wired connection in there, and that would be great. H1.5 and H1.11. H1.5 is this piece here. But yeah, that would be the ideal for me anyway, would be to have wired in there. That would be rad as hell. But I'm not pressing my luck on any of that. I'm happy with what I have. The Wi-Fi booster being able to have this long of a break has been nice. Hopefully hopefully everything will work out when I go back to that on Saturday, or really Friday, but you know, I just have to brace myself for uploading on the Pepper's Anime Club that I'll record tomorrow. Should be fine. Not all prepped. I just have to record it there. It'll be okay. But yeah, getting things taken care of around here, getting things ready for all of that. Should be just fine. And this goes here. This goes like this. And these come together, and then this goes like this. And then this goes into this piece. There it goes. Like that. And then this goes in like that. Yes. All right. And then I need H318 to connect these two together. So yeah, that's probably about it. I borrowed our neighbor's carpet cleaner because I waited until right before my folks got back to do that. So I did that today. That was one of my big tasks for the day, was to do that on the bedroom and office and the bedroom's carpets and clean everything up there. Took a while, and then I cleaned the thing real good. That's important. If you're gonna, hey, you know this, but in case you don't know the protocol like this, in my opinion, this is standard. If you borrow a piece of equipment like that, you got to clean it, because like there's going to be a bunch of gunk all around it, and so you know it behooves you to be if you are borrowing something for somebody, to treat it well. Like if you're borrowing a lawnmower, I'm not saying you got to like hose it down and do a proper cleaning, but like make sure the bag is fully empty or whatever, or like make sure the battery, if it's a charging device, make sure that's being charged and all that. It's in the condition that it was when you borrowed it, all that stuff. So I had to clean all that, because if there's leftover water in there or gunk, like, look, they can get whatever they want to get into that from their carpets. I don't want them to get like whatever gunk I cleaned up from my carpets onto left in there. So clean that all up, and that looked pretty good. So I'm glad that's taken care of, and I don't have to think about that. That was one of the last chores that I had to do around here. I have done all of my chores now. I've completed all my tasks, all the things I wanted to do. The only thing left is I gotta like sweep up a little bit and clean up, and then tomorrow, I guess my plan is tomorrow I'm going to get my room back in sorts, get all this stuff moved out, get that all together. Oops, I did this in the wrong order. Well, we'll see. We'll see if I can pop this off first. I might be able to do this first, but I definitely messed up here, so I gotta do 20. And then Saturday, I got to clean in this room. I got to do a thorough mopping. I've got to move some furniture around. I got to clean like the whole house, and just do a really nice clean on Saturday, so that when my folks come back on Sunday, my mom doesn't think about having to like clean the floors or anything like that. You know, hey, I take care of it. I take care of everything. Everything looks good. Bathroom's all nice and clean. The kitchen's all nice and clean. Like, I've been keeping up, but you know, I'm going to run the dishwasher tomorrow. I'm going to like do a bunch of stuff, or Saturday, and just like make sure that everything's nice and clean, so that when my mom and dad come back, the place will be looking nice and they won't have to think about it. Like the least I could do. So there's that. That's basically, I think that's basically all the maintenance stuff I need to do, you know, and then just like there's little things. I had been borrowing the TV from my parents' bedroom in my bedroom because it's a way better TV than my TV, which I never use. Outside of February, I never use that TV. I like almost never does anything happen on there. But since my computer, because I'm on my computer and then I go to bed. But since my computer's out here, what I end up doing is going and like laying in bed and having, because I have a Chromecast, and so I have the Chromecast going with my phone to like YouTube and have that on as I'm just kind of like coming down and check stuff on my phone and then turn my phone off and then like go to bed. And I can do that in there if I wanted to, but I had to return the TV that I was borrowing back to their bedroom, make sure that's all working. And then the TV in here, I have to make sure that everything's working with that, because I'm going to move things around again. I pull out the router. I have to pull out the wireless router out of where it normally lives, so that it is close enough that I don't have to run that long of an Ethernet cable. I have to like return it to where it belongs. Which will be fine. All of this is fine. All this stuff is stuff I've done plenty of times. So it's all good, and it will be nice and easy. Whoops. And since I'm going to be having to take apart this computer to move stuff, to move it, I will take the time tomorrow to properly dust my computer. And that is my reminder to y'all that it might be, okay, this is the wrong piece. This H1, this is not H129 then. It's not. It's 28. Okay, there you go. I was like, this doesn't look right, because it wasn't. This is my reminder to y'all that, hey, have you cleaned your computer in a while? Have you dusted that thing out? You might need to. So I'm going to do that, and that'll count for my clean out for March, even though it won't be March yet. Don't tell anybody. But it won't be March. It'll still be it'll still be February tomorrow. But that's okay. All right, H139. Lord Crashington wants me to hit the dance button, and I will. As I start working on this leg here, I will hit the dance button. Thank you for using your channel points for the dance button. Do. Thank you for using your channel points. This is the second to last night of this song. The Saturday will be the last one, because hey, February, one of the nice things about my folks going in February is that it reminds me that February is short. So I like got things done. I got my Q&A video done today. If you're not aware, I have a Patreon, and all the tiers get, even from the cheapest tier all the way up, they all get access to a otherwise these are exclusive to Patreon Q&A video that I do every month. And I did one today and uploaded it. Sometimes in the past, I have been sketchy about that for February, because I would forget that February is short. But I did not forget this time. This time I remembered. which is good. I want to make sure, gotta make sure everything's on the up and up. There is some updates to previous news stories that we've talked about. Updates and then follow-ups. We'll get into some of those. There's not much to say about this dumb shit. Marathon. Marathon is a video game. There's going to be a stress test, a system shock, if you will, but they were going to try to fuck things up with it. And Dr. Disrespect was out there saying that he was going to be a part of it. For the game launch. Just finished the photo shoot for tomorrow, and then the ensuing promotional stunt would be cinema. And he tagged himself as a marathon partner. And that during his stream, he would be offering drops for the game. Now, as you could probably guess by my tone and the fact that I'm covering this, that's a lie. He lied. And it's this weird thing where it's clearly mostly for attention, right? This is like, and the fact that people are talking about it, because like yes, Lord Christian, and his fans were like, hey, why are you lying about this? Like, people that want to think the best of him for whatever reason, fools, are like, why are you doing this? And he's just like, can you believe it? So the Marathon development team was just like, no, he's not partnered. And remember that he did the whole thing with the High Guard launch where he like faked an image. He had somebody fake an image like he was invited and acted like he was. So, hey, welcome. Dr. Disrespect wrote, this is the industry in 2026, which was like people who were playing the video, like devs, and then also other people, journalists and stuff, being like, who called him out on it. And he was like, these people are actually real and dead serious. I love it. Which is like, I think if I am being generous, which I should not be, if I'm being generous, he's saying, look at these people that are calling out an obvious joke that I made and are acting high and mighty about it. I guess is what he's saying. I guess. But because like, he knows that he's going to, like, people are going to go, wait, what? And then call him out on it. And then he wins, I guess. I guess he wins. I don't know. We're the ones that are fools, I guess, for like giving, I mean, honestly, giving him any attention is foolish. Don't get me wrong. But it is also really fucking sad. It's all very sad. Because also it's sad because he's fucking sad and embarrassing and also a criminal, but like, and fucking gross. But beyond all of the like obvious stuff, it's also sad because like he's not even that big a deal within his own community, right? Like, he got left behind. The people that are looking for shit, the kind of people that were his bread and butter are watching fucking bigger garbage people, more respected garbage people. Like, they're watching Asmongold. They're not watching Dr. Disrespect. So like, it is just like attention. It is just like, hey, I'm going to pretend. And then, yeah. So like it is in some instances, you could say it's publicity, but like, it is this weird thing of like, look at these people flood, like as if it like people are foolish for calling him out on it because he's like, because like it's not a lie, it's just like he's just writing words. He used a hashtag and made people think that something he was going to do something when he didn't. And then also like imagine Imagine you actually follow him on Twitter and you like what he does. And you were a fan. Imagine you're a fan. And you're like, oh, cool. I've heard good things about Marathon. I could get drops for watching my favorite streamer. And he's like, no, that's not true. And it's like, oh. What? I don't know. It is just another sad thing. It's just embarrassing. And I am not the first and I am not the last person to say it's embarrassing, and then also, like, that's all he has. All he has is embarrassment at this point. So, fuck. I mean, what are you gonna do? Let's see, other updates. The age verification rollout for Discord has been delayed and postponed. Look, as I've said previously, bullying corporations works. You know, they're trying to go public. This is a company that makes its money from Nitro, from people doing the boosted. Only a certain percentage of people who use the service actually pay for that. Full disclosure, I have Discord Nitro. I do not pay for it. I have an associate, a longtime associate, who pays for several Nitros as a way to give back to people, and which is very kind of them, but I do not pay for my own Nitro, but I do have Nitro. I did not cancel it. I did not ask my friend to cancel it when all of this came up, because I do use it for both, for various things, some of which are job related, others are just my connections to other people, personal stuff. So I do make use of that quite a bit. Basically, they got a lot of flack, especially for who they were partnering with to do this. But it's not going away, right? It's not going away. It's just going to be delayed in the rollout, because there are parts of the United States, within the United States, where they need to do this stuff, and they still need to do it for various countries. These age verification things are going to happen. They are going to probably push for more of the AI, we look at what you're writing and determined you're an adult shit. And then also, they are looking to do credit card verification. Like, if you pay for Nitro with a credit card, then you're an adult because you've got a credit card. Like, that kind of thing. And then also they're promising whoever they do partner with will 100% use any kind of local copy of whatever ID or selfie you take to ensure you're an adult. If you're unaware, by default, you go in to eventually here. If you go in, you have a Discord account. You're treated as just a teen. Everyone's considered a teen. For the most part, that won't matter. It will matter for marginalized groups where living their daily life is considered adult content. So I am sure there will be plenty of queer folks who suddenly have to prove they're an adult to be in queer spaces, which fucking sucks. Certainly, I am not pretending that does not suck shit. But I do think most people will not have any issues at all. But that is not to say that we shouldn't be loudly and vocally looking to support those folks. And yeah, there are a lot of ways that people are, trying to figure out how to combat this, and a lot of people are canceling their Nitro and not coming back. There will be an age verification, as I said, eventually. They'll delay it as much as they want to, but they want to go public, so they do have to have on the up and up for some countries because they want to operate in as many countries as possible. And we'll see how that goes and where that goes with all of that. But yeah, weird shit. But yeah, there's been an update. It's coming in the second half of the year. And whatever biometric facial data will live on your device and won't go there. And yeah. And they stressed a lot on their thing, like, hey, most people will not notice nothing will change about their accounts. We do this. A lot of people will have no noticeable change, which might be true. But of course, again, the marginalized folks are the ones that are going to be dealing with the most of this. Okay, so how do you work? You go in like this. Sorry, folks. Okay, that goes in like that. And then push this like this. And then this goes in like that then. Okay. And then C24. There's some layers in here because this is going, the legs could kind of like pop out a little bit. So I got to make sure I'm doing this correctly. That everything looks cool. C2, 4 is this piece here. They were right that nothing would change for most people because they delayed it. Yes, Lord Crashington, indeed. Things have not changed for most people because they, again, did delay the whole shebang. We'll see what happens with it, but like, it's not going away in general simply because it is just like the price of doing. It's going to be the price of doing business, certainly. I think that is all of the updates to previous stories I have. Let me just check here. Oh, there is one more update. And that is that with regulatory approval in the United States and the EU, at some point, if those things happen, one of which is pretty much guaranteed, the other one is maybe up in the air. Paramount is now set to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. Netflix had a deal that Warner Brothers liked. Netflix's deal was not for the TV. It was just for it was for basically everything but television. So it would have been for the movies and video game stuff, and not the Discovery portion. They wanted Warner Brothers, not the Discovery portion of that, as I said there, or CNN or TBS or TNT or anything like that. Netflix didn't want that. They wanted the movie studio stuff and a lot of the content for that. And they wanted HBO Max, which it was a weird thing. They didn't want to hear from Paramount anymore. Paramount had been pushing a lot. It seems like a lot of people were getting pushback. Hey, you have to do this. They were making a lot of noise. Finally, they said, okay. Paramount, who wants all of it, they want all of Warner Brothers Discovery, put out a new deal for it, and including the money that if the deal had fallen through with Netflix, there was a couple $1 billion that was going to go to Netflix. Paramount is going to pay that money that Warner Brothers would owe that. And they're going to pay a bunch of money as well in case something goes wrong with the regulatory. Because they're assuming that the EU won't have a problem with it, which is, in my opinion, crazy. Now, did the EU have a problem with Skydance buying CBS? No, and therefore Paramount. Because remember, we're using the Paramount name here, but it's Skydance. Did they have a problem with that? They seemed like they had some kind of a problem with it, but not enough to let it go. But now, it's very clear that Skydance is a wing of the Republican Party, or of Trump's Republican Party. Certainly, It is much more clear that that is evidence. We knew that, but whatever. And when you look at what CNN, or the changes that have been made to CBS, the idea that Skydance would own CNN is worrying. That's certainly worrying in the grand scheme of things. Also, a reminder that, you know this, the European Union, the EU, wasn't dealing with tariffs when that deal went through. They are now. Trump's global hatred, or hatred within the global community, is at an all-time high. It's never been higher. They could drag this shit out for a really long time. It's possible they won't. It's possible they'll just be like, whatever, fucking deal with it, because it's two American companies, but they do have international premises or presence. So they may have been okay with Netflix and now will not be okay. I know that since they are very MAGA forward, Skydance is, that there are people who are assuming this is doom and gloom for AEW fans. I know this because I live in a world where there are a lot of my friends are wrestling fans that like AEW and pay attention to what AEW is doing. And they are worried because Skydance at AEW seems like it probably would not mix. And while I agree with that, while I certainly do agree with that, the alternative wasn't good either. So obviously, Netflix just wanted the TV. They didn't want the TV. They wanted everything but the TV stuff. AEW lives on TBS and TNT and HBO Max. If Netflix owned HBO Max, AEW would no longer live there. Also, they would have owned a portion because Warner Bros. Discovery owns some amount of AEW. The TV stuff would have still been owned by whatever was left of Warner Brothers. AEW would have lost it. It wouldn't have necessarily lost its TV deal, but it certainly would have lost its deal for sorry, let me just make sure I'm clicking the right part on here. Yes, okay. It certainly would have lost its streaming deal because Netflix has an investment in the future of WWE, and they wouldn't, on another thing they own, have another, like, they just wouldn't. They just wouldn't have other wrestling, a rival wrestling promotion. It just doesn't, it wouldn't make any sense for them to have them. So they wouldn't. Now, is Skydance going to care about WB Games? We don't know. Is Skydance going to care about TBS and TNT? We don't know. Are they going to care about AEW enough to say anything about what AEW does? On the one hand, there is certainly involvement from the WWE within the Trump administration, and they could say, like, hey, you should get rid of this goddamn wrestling, this other wrestling company. You should sell that stuff. Take it off your airwaves. Certainly could be something that happens. Could be. Like it is probably too soon to say what this will have. Like, so again, it's bad. All of this is bad. It is bad for the gaming division. It is bad for the TV division. It is certainly bad for the wrestling division. All of this is bad news, for sure. In general, the idea that somebody can own CBS News and CNN it's all bad. It's all bad news. All of it is bad news. And again, most likely no sweat going through, probably even fast track going through the United States and dealing with that. Like, most likely no problems at all. But could run into some issues which might global business for like it probably would mean more be more of a problem for some companies would think of it like a more a problem. Like Netflix would probably think of it as more of a problem than Skydance would, having the EU give problems, but they are international companies and they do want to do business in the EU, so it's possible it could fuck shit up. I hope the whole stack of cards collapses at some point so the pieces can be sold off to better places. Yeah, I mean, like I said, in general, like also Netflix owning Warner Brothers, that doesn't sound great. Like Warner Brothers Discovery selling was bad. They're going to sell to somebody. All of the options are bad. I don't think Netflix as a solution would be good because Netflix doesn't want to deal with unions of any kind in any way. So like it would be a bad news for that and the various companies that they would then own that they don't care about. Like they don't want the TV, but like they were still going to get the movies, and that was going to be, and then we were going to get the video games. And it's just like Netflix was going to own a stake in a wrestling company. Like a lot of this stuff is just like, yeah, I don't know, man. This is cool that this opens up. Sorry, it's just cool that it opens up. We'll leave it like that. We got a leg done. Let's work on the other leg. It's going to be very similar than the thing that I just did. One might even say it's going to be identical. It will be identical. But yeah, it's a fucking nightmare. Nobody wins. Some other news stuff. We do have some some closures and layoffs. Riot Games laid off a bunch of people within the publishing division. That is 12 roles have been eliminated. This is not the first layoffs they've had in a while. Because literally 2 weeks ago, they were laying off people within the 2XKO or 2KO team. I guess it's 2KO. 80 people were laid off there, so now we got even more layoffs within Riot. Shit's rough out there, man, because also a bunch of people at Full Circle, the skate developer, the current skate developer, have been laid off. I've always heard people say the X. Yeah, Last Word Guide, I don't know. I don't pretend to know anything about that particular game. 2XKO. Perhaps that was what I was supposed to say there. But yeah, also some layoffs at Full Circle. Let's see if I can get a number here from the game developer story. Undisclosed number of workers. Okay. It's been 5 months since that game came out in early access. And the thing is, I know why they say shit like this, but they fucking should stop saying shit like this. Basically, they're saying like, oh, now we have to reshape the team to be more responsive, and we can be faster with a smaller team. And it's like, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like the right thing at all. Because it's like, what do you mean? You mean less people means like you could be faster? Like, how is that possible? Wouldn't more people make things like what? What are we talking about here? We don't know. And there is a small developer conference called Reboot Develop, and they are the organizer was hit with a bankruptcy order for about 520 pounds, 20,000 pounds in unpaid debts. Sorry, it wasn't pound. This was a Croatian. So my apologies. It is. They've been a small conference for developers that has been alive for 10 years. Sorry, 11 years, I should say. 11 years. But it is looking pretty rough for them right now. And right now, they do not have a 2026 event scheduled, so that's not great. Originally, they were planning to do it in April of this year as a yearly event, and they were saying they starting to hit capacity, so they were looking for bigger and better venues, but now that is certainly in doubt because they have creditors and a lot of debt. And apparently the hotel that has hosted the event all 11 years does not have anything scheduled. So I will say, shout out to GameIndustry.biz for reaching out to the hotel for a statement. That's good shit. I like that. I like you were like, oh, we should, hey, if they're not reply, public comment from the developer or the organizers of the conference, we can just reach out to the place that would be hosting it if it was happening. And then the place that would be hosting it if it was happening was like, yeah, no, we don't have that scheduled. It's rough out there. Let's see. One last story that we can kind of get into here, game story stuff. Metacritic. The very concept of Metacritic, of aggregator sites like Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes, I've never been a big fan of myself, because to me, a 3 out of 5 and a 8 out of 10, while on paper you could do the math and say a 3 out of 5 and an 8 out of 10 are the same score, right? Like, a 4 out of 5. My apologies. I'm doing the math wrong, and I'm not making my point clearly. A 4 out of 5 and an 8 out of 10 are the same thing. But publication to publication, that's not true. The math doesn't always math. And again, very silly for me to say, somebody who was doing the math wrong. But like, that has been my feeling about these kinds of sites for the longest time. Like, an aggregate, like, look, I wouldn't go to Jeff Gerstmann for a review of Resident Evil Requiem because Jeff Gerstmann does not like modern Resident Evil games, right? So I might go to somebody that I know has enjoyed the modern Resident Evil games because they would be comparing and contrasting Requiem with those. So I wouldn't just go to one person. I would go to multiple people. I would want to know what people who loved Evil, who loved Village. Like, I would want to know what they think of this game. That would be me doing my due diligence. But I don't think, myself personally, and of course everybody's different, I don't think that I would care about what websites I've never heard of think of that game. What the Metacritic score of Requiem is. I don't care about that. Like, the thing that I've always said about that is, like, you should know who's writing it, right? Like, there was always this talk with Giant Bomb about how, like, Giant Bomb loved a particular Saints Row game, but its score wasn't as good as the next Saints Row game. The third didn't do as well as 4 because Alex reviewed the third one, and if it had been Jeff or Ryan, the score would have been higher because they loved it more than Alex did. So was it a true representation of Giant Bomb if that game wasn't rated higher than the guy that was part-time writing reviews or I might be I might be wrong with some of those facts, but like that was a sentiment that exists, and it's like, well, it doesn't fucking matter. Do you trust? Okay, you don't think Alex likes the Saints Row games that much? Then take it with a grain of salt. Maybe you'll be okay with the bullshit more than he is. Maybe you'll think the jokes are funnier than he does. Maybe you'll forgive the action more than he was. Like, okay, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the website's take on it is. It's a person working for that website's take. Like, that's all that you should be thinking about with that. And that's always been my particular stance on this. I think that's just always kind of been my vibe when it comes to that. Having said all of that, we live in 2026, unfortunately. And in 2026, websites are using AI to write reviews. And Metacritic says, then you can't be a fucking on our site. This happened with a review that was written by AI on Video Gamer, which was a UK-based gaming news site that existed for a long time because it was written by a fake person. Because last week, every human that wrote for Video Gamer doesn't work there anymore. They were all laid off and replaced with AI. They were recently sold to a ClickOut, who are just SEO perverts, gambling site garbage. One thing that I think is kind of fucking incredible is, so they're using the game's SEO, the site's SEO to do all this stuff. The fact that they put a score out there that Metacritic, crawled, right, is interesting. That's just because Video Gamer existed for a long time, so they've been part of Metacritic, or pulled from Metacritic. One thing I think is very funny is, so they have a made up person. They got a made up person named Brian Marigold. Has an AI profile image, seemingly. Has a fake profile. Is not a real person. The profile for this fake person is very funny to me because it's just like, okay, so no human even looked at, they don't even have humans approving their fake people, right? Because this person, quote unquote, profile says, experienced iGaming and sports betting analyst. iGaming, lowercase I, capital G gaming, and sports betting analyst. It's just like, you couldn't even make up a game reviewer. Your game reviewer is fucking, like, clearly is a fucking sports bet analyst. I don't want to read out loud this fucking garbage, but yeah, it's full of garbage. It was scraped and featured on Metacritic for its review score roundup on launch day because, again, they had scraped those before. This was not, because people were like, why would they submit it if it's made by AI? Because they don't care about Metacritic. They just want people that have gone to that website in the past to go to that website again and then click on links to garbage ads or read a thing, an article that is just SEO bullshit or whatever. It's like, well, no, because it's a scraper, which is one of the things I don't like about Metacritic. Like, to be clear, I am not a fan of the way Metacritic operates with that. I think it should be submission only. But that's neither here nor there. there's a statement that went out to basically everyone that does things on Metacritic or submits to Metacritic, basically saying our policy is that we will never include an AI generated review on Metacritic, and if we sequentially discover that one has been posted, we remove it immediately and sever ties with that publication upon investigation. So a good thing out of this is we get firm, concrete statement from Metacritic saying we don't want AI slop in our aggregation, which is good. That's good to hear. We love hearing that. It fucking sucks that this is even a thing to deal with, but you got to have a hard stance like that. It is a credibility issue at a certain point. So I'm glad to hear that from Metacritic again, a company, a very idea that I'm not on board with, certainly. But in this case, happy to hear that they're saying that. Let's see. Oh my God, I didn't see this part of the article. So, in looking at all of this, Mark Doyle told Kotaku in an email the Resident Evil Requiem review and a handful of other video gamer reviews from 2026 have been removed from Metacritic. So there were some other ones that people didn't notice, apparently. Good on them for catching that shit. Everything about Brian Marigold's profile on Video Gamer comes off as suspicious. The byline appears to have no prior online history, and the profile image URL is titled ChatGPT image October 20, 2005, 11:57, 34 a.m., 30 by 30 PNG. They didn't even care enough to change the name of the image. That's how little they care about anything. That's fucking insane. That is infuriating. Right? They care so little that they couldn't even change the name of the image for their fake person. Other current bylines on the site include Shooter Orson and Steven Danielson. And they have X profiles that were created, or Twitter profiles created in 2025. Steve Danielson is a father of three, avid gamer, Leeds United fan, writer for Video Gamers. Shooter Orson is a gamer writer, biker enthusiast. Post my thoughts on science, technology, and video games. I edit for a site called Video Gamer. They both joined in 2025. Steven Danielson just has one follower. Should have gotten Shooter McGavin, indeed. Shooter follows 27 people. So apparently they've been publishing AI-generated content under the casino and gambling portions of Video Gamer, but not until they wiped out all of the human employees recently that they started posting in the video game section. Previous bylines have all been deleted. It fucking nightmare shit. Just goddamn nightmare shit. It's all bad. None of it's good. It's all a nightmare. It all sucks. Our glorious future is garbage and awful. It's all bad. It's a nightmare. But yeah, if you are someone that first of all, stop. But if you're someone that argues about Metacritic scores, now you have ammunition. Now you can be like, who cares? Some of those reviews are made by AI, right? So if you're like, Oh, I only care about what like, first of all, stop caring about that stuff. Don't argue like that on the internet. Figure your shit out. I believe in you. I believe you can do it. You can figure out your life. But if you do need to argue with people about review scores and all that, you can just say, man, that shit doesn't matter. It's all AI reviews now. Yeah, like, well, the AI review I looked at said this game sucks. Like, I think that is funny in a very sad, fucked up, not actually funny way. Suck shit. Anyway, now is the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you about ways to support the channel and what I do here, if you can believe it. The AI review recommended getting the pre-order bonuses. Yeah, and I bet they had an affiliate code at the bottom as well. I bet every AI review for them says get the pre-order bonuses. But you should buy the game here through our affiliate links. Also, have you considered gambling with real money? Now is the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you. That's right, you. About ways that you can support me and what I do here. Everything I'm going to talk to you about is optional. You are under no obligation to support me financially, of course. You being here means the most. If you want to tell a friend about what I do, that would be nice. If you want to support the channel financially, that would also be great. If you're currently a subscriber to the Bill with Bear Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link it with your Twitch, get Twitch Prime. You can use that token for anybody. If you want to use it for me, that would be great. I love that. Being a subscriber means you don't see ads. No ad breaks, no pre-roll ads. You get cool emotes, as I said there, made by a real fucking person. My friend Xandra made those emotes. So, you know, you can use those in chat and other places. If they are Giant Bomb, the History of Giant Bomb Duder affiliated, perhaps they will enjoy a Bear Cave emote. Perhaps in another building stream, you'd like to drop in the Me as a Lego emote. You could. This is the easiest way to support me through Cash Money, Prime Gaming Token, gifting a sub to somebody in the community, bits and coins, always appreciated. Those are ways to support me if you wanted to. There are other ways, of course. Like my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. As I mentioned earlier, I just put up a Q&A video. It is a monthly thing I do where I answer burning questions from people. One was a question about BLOKEES, about the company that made this kit that I'm working on right now. And another question was food related. And I answered them, and they were good questions. If you would like to see that video, just for $1 on Patreon, you can join and watch lots of stuff on there. I have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBear. Over on my YouTube channel, of course, subscribing is free, so please do if you haven't already. And while you're over there, consider becoming a member. For just $2 a month, you'll get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So the video that went out and a bunch of people saw, which is very nice. It's finally the uptick on my Kuma Baer videos. But yeah, some people have watched that, so you could watch that as well if you wanted to. If you wanted to go do that. Hey, we just got a shout out from Lunar Jade. That's nice. I don't know. I'm not quite sure why we got that shout out, but that's great. Thank you to Lunar Jade for the shout out. That's neat. But yeah. Oh, we got a follow. That's nice. That's very kind. That's cool. We love that. We love the follows around here. But yeah, join my YouTube, become a member. You get videos a day early. That's nice. let's see, what else we got there. You can make a direct donation if you don't want to do a monthly way to support me. You could jump in on that. That would be neat. That would be kind if you want to do that. Everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out financially, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and from that fund I pull money out to buy model kits and such. Because of your continued support, I was able to spend $40 on this build. This build right here that's $40. That's a lot of fucking money. But I was able to pick that up. We just got raided by Lunar Jade. Welcome, raiders. Thank you for the shout out, and thank you very much for the raid. Hello. We're doing our pause for the cause, which I'll do abruptly. I'll kind of do a truncated version of that so we can get back to building and chatting. Can't hang around tonight, but I hope you have a great stream. Well, thank you very much, Heather. Thank you for the raid. Folks, you can see there's a shout out was given to Lunar Jade, so you can click there to go and follow Heather. Heather does great, has plenty of VODs, does some great streams. Recently did some stuff with Corey that was really fun as well. But you should go check out Lunar Jade. She streams at various times, so you should be able to catch them. She doesn't always stream when I'm streaming, which is good. Very quickly, folks, I'm just going to say, because we'll get back to model kit building, and I'll talk about this model kit and all that. Real quick, I did just want to say that I have an Amazon wish list, and I wanted to very briefly talk about that. Amazon is doing a thing where very soon, I believe next month, third-party sellers will be able to see what address they are sending things to if you have a wish list that's public. And because of the way that third-party sellers sell things, tracking numbers will go out to people that have made those purchases on a wish list, and they will be able to see the address that is going to. Now, for some people, that's a dead end. To get a P.O. box or stop doing it. For me, for your friend Pat, what this means is that packages on there, my address has now changed. The address I was using for my Amazon wishlist is now changed to a fulfillment place that happens to be very close to me. Now, what does this mean? It means public address will not be shared to people that are doing that. Like it won't be listed anywhere, but people that do buy stuff that then would see the tracking information and would see what address is being delivered to will get an address of a fulfillment center that is just an address that is somewhere in South Carolina near where I am. It's close. It's close to where I am, right? It's in the Myrtle Beach vicinity, which is where I am. Is this ideal? No. It does mean that if anybody buys anything from me off my wish list, I will get a notification when it's delivered, and there will be a little bit more of a delay because it won't be coming directly to my house. It's frustrating. That's what we're doing. That is the best solution I could come up with. So my apologies for folks about that, but I did want to put out that information. A couple video links for you to check out, and then we'll get back to building here just real quick, and we'll talk about some anime stuff as well. Pat Baer's Anime Club. I do have a new episode coming out on Monday. The most current episode that is up there is me recommending from some anime from this current anime season. If you are interested in watching some anime this season, you should watch that video to see what I'm recommending. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series, where every week I have I do a different video, 1 minute short about something from the world of anime that I want to talk to you about. This particular video is me recommending an anime called My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999, which thankfully has 10 times as many views as last week's video. In one day, in 24 hours, it has 10 times as many views, which is excellent because my last one was the least amount of views I've had in 2026. So My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999 is a kind of slow burn romance series about a girl that got into video games for her boyfriend and then got dumped, but is still playing games. And then she meets a guy from the guild, and he's nice and She likes him. He likes her. They're both very awkward. It's a slow burn. It's full of cliches, but they're good cliches. It is a lovely series. Watch my 1 minute video, and then go check out that series. It's really fun. It is like it's not like it says like, oh, people were saying, oh, it's two gamers falling in love. She's not much of a gamer, but she is a gamer. She plays a video game. And it's just about her and a guy who's kind of perfect, and they're trying to figure shit out. It's good. You should watch it. It is a lovely little series. Now, I do have other anime to chat with you about. I have two shows. It's Isekai BL night here. So we're going to talk about two boys love Isekai. In order to get into that conversation, I do need to drink some water and dramatically transition back to the overhead camera, which we will do right now. All right. Drama is happening in the anime that I'm currently watching here. One of my favorite, if not my favorite this season. Isekai Office Worker. The other world's books depend on the bean counter. A dude was not meant to be summoned to another world. He's having a lot of problems with that, but he is a workaholic. He has found a job. He has found a passion for that job. He is in a situationship with the most handsome man in the goddamn kingdom, who has been, through physical contact, keeping him alive because of our main character Shinichiro's a lack of ability to absorb magic in the world, but he's been stabilized by having close physical contact. And things are rough because our guy has been trying to, basically, he'd love there to be money to research how to send him home. And also the current Saintess, how to send both of them home. But instead of just asking for the funds, he's been trying to allocate funds, make things easier, and he's getting pushback from various people that want the status quo, people that have a vested interest in the current Saintess being the Saintess and doing her thing without any interference. Various things are happening to make his life a little bit more difficult as he tries to navigate all this. And the church hates what he's doing. Also, he's been sent to the church to figure out what's going on with some money that was moving around there, and they have been told to not be helpful, to stifle him. He is found out. He is supposed to be working with to meet with the church's accountant. And apparently the church's accountant is working on another project and will not be available. They're stalling him out, right? They are clearly trying to keep our guy from doing what he needs to do, and keeping him from doing his job. We find out that there is a belief that we thought that our guy had been summoned accidentally, but perhaps it was on purpose, that there was an interference to make sure that he appeared, because it was like an idea of trying to get somebody that could change the system. So maybe our guy was not accidentally summoned. Maybe he was sabotaged to be summoned. We don't know. Let's see. Shinichiro has a day off, and so of course he's doing work, because that's who he is. Unfortunately, he is a workaholic, so he's still going to be out and about. He finds out that a lot of the priests are nobles or mages, because the ceremonies they do require a lot of magic. There's some research that's supposed to be happening, but that they've run out of money already. That would benefit him, some research. So that's worry. That's cause for concern. He runs into Yua, who is the Saintess. He has made it so that she does not have to go out and fight the miasma. So she instead is using her magic abilities to work as a healer in the church, which is nice. That's good for her to find something. It's also non-threatening. They seem to their relationship seems a little better than it was previously, but she's young and he was not supportive of her being there. He was just like, you have to remember these are our kidnappers, which she was not. She was looking at it way more romantically than he was. He was looking at it very practically, because that's how he is. Eurus is like, hey, why does Yua keep pushing you away? Why doesn't she want your help? And he doesn't know. He doesn't quite know, because she's definitely trying to reject the idea of being the Holy Maiden, but like, it is a delicate thing, and she might be doing it to like keep him away from the inevitable fallback that is happening, where it's like, okay, well, it's easy to blame him. He's just some guy. They can't blame the Saintess for not wanting to be, or the Holy Maiden for not wanting to be the Holy Maiden, but they can blame him for interfering or whatever. And he's worried because, like, if he makes an enemy of the priests, a lot of these priests are still connected to nobility. It could lead to more trouble. So he's kind of worried about that. There's a shortage of sorcerers. He has another experiment with dealing with the miasma, so he's going to need the fourth for the experiment. That, like, it's going to take a lot of money and time, so he's a little concerned about that. Yua did purify a demon tree on her own, or as part of the thing. So now it's like, well, maybe we need to have some of my work go into the next one. So he's figuring that stuff out. This episode was a lot of like conversations and planning. It was not particularly thrilling in any way, but there was a lot of groundwork for some later episodes. And the episode does end with some bit of nonsense where Aresh is like concerned. Maybe concerned is the wrong word. Maybe that's too strong. He is noticing that maybe Shinichiro is putting on some weight, and he notices that by like touching him and commenting on it, which Shinichiro is not pleased about, because even if they are okay, so why is this wrong? Something is wrong here. Sorry, folks. Sorry. This is wrong. You might be able to see this should fit into here, because this piece does. So I'm like, I think I put this piece on wrong. So let's find out. Let's see. I think I did. Yes, I think I did. I think this is supposed to go like this. And then this goes like this. This is the way. Okay. So I think I did this wrong, and we'll see here. I think now this will line up correctly. Luckily, not too hard to fix. Yeah. And then it goes like that. So it can open up like that. Okay, great. Great. I fixed it. I fixed my mistake. Hooray. Yeah, so like I said, this was not the my favorite episode by any means. I thought it was fine. Maybe we'll start seeing more interpersonal stuff, which is the stuff that I'm most interested in when it comes to this. Like, I'm most interested in their relationship, especially since they have not been intimate with one another in a bit. and seeing what's going on with that. But the other stuff, the like larger story stuff, is at least interesting. It's just not necessarily what I'm there for. Meanwhile, in A Gentle Noble's Vacation Recommendation, which again, of course, is another BL Isekai, it's so strange. We had plenty of queer anime this season, which is awesome. But also, one of the queer anime these are two or three of them are boys love that are also isekais. It's very strange. A reminder, our guy was accidentally, on purpose, question mark, we don't know. He was summoned to another world, but because he has the firm belief that the king of his world will come for him, will figure out a way to get him back, he is just kind of treating it like a vacation. He hangs around with a lot of pretty boys. This is an anime where everybody is fucking pretty. And there is some jealousy because the handsome guy, Gil, hangs out with our Lysel, our handsome man, and then there are other handsome men, and it's a whole fucking thing. This last episode, there was a guy named 11, who is a snake beast man, and he has he shows up, and he wants to join our group because they are now well known and well respected, and they say no, but he's hanging out a lot, and there are other guys that are like jealous and flirty, and it's a whole thing. But they are dealing with this thing, a group called the Forky Gang. The Forky Gang have been, we don't know why, but they're after Lysel, and they keep sending people to attack Lysel, and then those people just get killed. And nobody quite knows why it's happening, but it is. They thought maybe it was because they become kind of infamous, and had made some amount of noise, but that doesn't quite add up because at a certain point they should just give up because they are not fucking making it happen. So we are body complete on Megatron. We'll take a moment here before we get more anime talk. We're body complete on Megatron. There's still a bunch of accessories. There's weapons we can build. We still have to build the big cannon and all that, but we're at least done with the body. We have to put together laser beak. We have the throne to put together. We have a reflector to build. Kremzik, who I have no idea who that is, but we're going to build him. And then, as I said, the throne, which is where we can keep a bunch of accessories that we're not going to be using, the various other faces and things like that. So we have all of that to build. But what I thought I would do now is, now that I've completed this, is first off, I want to show you the difference here. This is the classic class, and this is the action edition class. So it is a remarkably, the scale is big. There's a big difference between, you could easily say 144 high grade, 100 master grade. Like, I think that is a relevant thing to say because it is a larger version in many ways. Obviously, if I had the classic edition Megatron, we can compare those two. I don't have that, so that would be a better comparison, which we could do in the future. Also, I just want to light that up because it does light up, which is neat. We'll turn off the light there, but yeah, and the eyes light up, and it's just fucking cool as hell. This is a nice big chonker. It's a good big chonker, and I'm excited to continue to work on it. I'm going to panel line this. I'm going to use a black marker for everything. All of the gray I am going to hit with a marker and see how that looks. I did a little bit over here. I don't think it needs it, but it is a model kit, and so we might as well take a look at it. So I am going to partially disassemble this kit so that I can do some panel lining here. Oops, this popped off in a way I didn't want there. Because I want to see what this looks like with some panel lines. And then we'll start working on the accessories, and then on Saturday's stream we'll be finishing this kit off. But we'll work on some accessories on there. But yeah, I want to see what this looks like with a little bit of marker. I think it'll just look better. And worst case, it doesn't do anything, and I wasted some marker and some time. But I want to see. I want to see how this looks with a little bit of a marker on it. I think it will improve it. It's ABS plastic. It should keep this just fine. I would say if you're using Gundam markers on something that is not a Gundam, you should be prepared for those markers that to be permanent. Don't think the quick and dirty cleaning method will work. Be like smart about where you're putting various panel lines. Going back to the episode here. So there is a drama. Lysel has been charged with a job where he is refilling the mana for the projector for a drama troupe that is coming through town. Apparently, the violinist gets injured, and so Lysel says, "Oh, I'll do it." So we get to see him be an artist because, of course, he is a violinist. That makes sense. While he's on stage, there is another assassination attempt, but it is thwarted. And apparently, Lysel has known for a while that the man behind all of this was the character who was introduced last episode, 11. 11, the snake man, the snake beast man, is in charge of these folks. He's the boss of the gang. And apparently, he killed a bandit leader at some point. And then the bandits decided to make him the boss. And he gave the gang a name, which they heard as Forky, but apparently it's not Forky. And apparently they targeted Gil and Lysel, but they were thwarted, and that led to 11 being obsessed with trying to get Lysel's attention. Because Lysel just rejected him from joining, doesn't care about his obsession, saw right through him, and 11 just felt like he was just always being looked at like he didn't matter, which he doesn't. But yeah, 11 asked to join the party, and Lysel was like, "No, I've known who you are and what you're doing," because he's like, Forky, it's a reference to your forked tongue. Like, I get it, I understand what's going on. 11 tries to kill him himself, but Gil immediately breaks the guy's wrist, like immediately takes him down. And then Lysel was just like, "So you've your entire life been moved by excitement. You've been fueled by excitement. That's not excitement. It's fear. All this time you've been fueled by fear. And you've never felt true fear before. It's just misplaced fear." And that's the moment where 11 is just like, actually, for the first time in his life, terrified. He is scared of Lysel, who is just looking down on him and above him and has figured him out this whole time. It's like a fucking cool moment. So terrified of Lysel, 11 surrenders. And that's the end of that story. It looks like the Forky gang isn't going to mess with our guys anymore because their boss was thoroughly defeated. And of course, they were all defeated constantly anyway. It's not a fucking problem. But yeah, short little story for that. We do end the episode getting into what will be the next arc, I imagine. I don't know. I've not read anything from this. I'm just going off of the anime. But Judge, the guy that deals with antiques and is another handsome man. They're all handsome men. He finds out that 3 labyrinth relics, which are just like basically little movies, projections of real events, are missing from his shop, and he thinks that it is the Merchants Guild retaliating. So that will probably be the next thing. That seems like a stupid thing to do, but that's what's happening. It seems like some new people are fucking around, and they are probably not going to be happy with finding out. It's still a handsome romp. 11, I didn't peg 11 as a mastermind. He wasn't smart, but I didn't peg him as like the leader of the gang at all. I didn't see that. I just saw him as a character that was in there to be like maybe he would eventually join like an annoying character that would prove his worth. I didn't read it as him being a villain or somebody obsessed with our main character, but it is interesting to see him and to see people see a different side of Lizel or Liz or Lies or whatever. But yeah, still really enjoyable series. I'm having a good time with it. I recommend it. We do have some time left in tonight's stream as I'm doing some panel lining here. And this is a good opportunity to ask you, friends who are watching right now, what are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? What do you got going on? I love hearing from you. While I give you time to write into the chat, I will let you know that I had a good time on Tuesday playing My Voice Zoo. When there is an update with that game, we'll probably check back in with it. But right now, we're done with My Voice Zoo. I had a good time with My Voice Zoo. Doing the voices for animals and kind of coming up with themes. It was kind of organic in a way that I really enjoyed. Very different experience, but silly little fun game. Only a couple bucks. I recommend it. It's on Steam. I think it's $3 if you're looking for something fun and silly. And then we did Our Land demo. We checked out the demo for Our Land, which is very bare bones. It is an island building, like no real task, just like placement game. You're making little dioramas. I've played a bunch of those. I enjoy them. This one was fun. I will be requesting a code for that in the future. I think the demo, there wasn't a lot to the demo. It was very bare bones, but I liked how it was put together. And I enjoyed what I could do with what I had in it. Again, I am hoping that there will be much, much more in the final version. And I'm hoping to get a code for it, because it was neat. Next Tuesday, I am going to be checking out some Steam demos. It'll be the day after. So maybe some of those demos won't be available, but I believe almost all of them will. If you have recommendations for games you think I should check out, right now I have, I believe I have 3 games that I'm going to be checking out that I have demos for. Maybe more. Let me check my Steam list. I downloaded a couple of them already. Let's see. Yes, I have 4. I have 4 games. 4 demos that I'll be checking out on Tuesday. They don't have to be part of Next Fest. But yeah, I just have a few to check out that we'll do a stream. I want like 4 or 5, and I want to give every game like some amount of time, that kind of thing. And we can do more of those, if there's the demand for it. But I thought that would be a nice way to start March, would be with that. There are 5 Tuesdays in March. One of those Tuesdays will be Pat Baer's Anime Club, Anime Club Live. Like the last, I believe it'll be the last one. I have to check. I have to do the math eventually, but I will have a stream where I'm talking about anime. Also in March, there will be one stage in Power Wash Simulator 2. So that'll be a stream, probably with some other stuff as well, and not just that one stage. The next expansion comes out in April, but there is one stage that's coming out along with some updates. So that'll be a stream. And then this coming month, I will also, have that. Hearthstone, there is a new Hearthstone expansion, so I will most likely do a stream for that as well. Probably the day that expansion comes out. I'll have to get some decks together when the time is right. But yeah, I'll probably do that because I like doing Hearthstone streams. Lord Crashin played some Marathon, which has been fun so far. It's taken me a bit to figure out where the things are at and how to do some things, but I'm getting there. Nice. I hope you have a good time with that. I did play yesterday evening when wrestling was done. I did play some Helldivers 2 with friends. Helldivers 2 continues to be fucking great. It is a game you can go back to. If you have not been back to it in a while and you are worried, you can pick up Helldivers 2 again. Maybe if you only played like the first week or something, but I think you can easily go back to Helldivers 2 and have a good time with it. So I would recommend that if you've been thinking about it, because it still fucking whips ass. We have the other faces here. I don't really want to do the other faces. Let's keep panel lining. We did the head, we did the chest. The waist doesn't need any panel lining, so we can just put the waist back on. Lashbrick says, I played Vampire Crawler's demo, which, no surprise, is good. I played Polybrick, which is a Lego puzzle game. It gives you a picture of a completed object and then bricks for it, and you have to figure out how to build it. Was a little awkward to control, but neat. Okay, Polybrick, that sounds right up my alley. I'm going to add that to my list. I can't say for sure that I'll be playing it on Tuesday, but I can add it to my list, and that might be something that I check out. Again, I don't know. Can't say for sure. I do have a few games on the list, but I can always add it. I also, again, somebody might pull one of the demos. It certainly happened in the past where people have said, oh yeah, this is only part of Next Fest, and they pull it. So, I don't know. Okay. All right. And we'll put there. But that does sound cool. Yeah, so I played some Helldivers 2. I'm still playing Hearthstone every day, and I'm having a good time in Hearthstone. I am excited for the next expansion because it should change the meta. Also, we're at the point of the year where some of my decks in Standard are going away, which is a shame because they're going away because some of the cards are going to Wild, and the deck won't work right with the cards in Standard. But that just means I can reinvest in some Wild decks, and that's fine. And new cards often mean that something will be better. I can find a new card that will work better in the current thing that I'm playing. So I look forward to finding that out. If new cards can support my old Wild decks or my new Standard decks. We'll see. But I usually end up with a couple new decks and then modifications to my previous decks. So it should be good. Oh, this popped out. Let's see. Okay, there we go. All right. There's not much to panel line on. Oh, I guess I can do in here. I was going to say there's not much to panel line on the legs, but because they're mostly black, but I can add in a little here on the red on the inside. Yeah, and then I am still playing Fallout 4. My save has not been corrupted this time, so I'm going through with mods and having a good time with that. But who knows? It could get fucked up at any time as I'm adding new mods. But right now, it's going well. I just killed Kellogg, so I'm very excited about that being done. And then I gave Kellogg's gun to Piper. She's doing well with that gun. We're having a good time. Going through. Doing a bunch of side quests. Eventually I'll do some main story stuff. Eventually I'll go and meet I'll go in and meet with the railroad and see what's going on there. Bunch of shenanigans there. I'm not looking forward to doing the next quest coming up on main story stuff. So I'm doing a bunch of other stuff because the Kellogg's memories, the memory den stuff is just boring at this point. I don't really need to see it anymore. I've seen it so many times, but I will have to go and do that. I do know that there's some kind of way to series break that, but it's very difficult. So I'm not looking to do that. I don't use any strats. I don't use any speed run strats with that game. Speaking of speed run stuff, or completionist, I am looking to do sometime next month. I don't know when it would be. Maybe it'll be the Patreon's choice. I don't know. But I am hoping to do a stream for Leave It Alone because I do want to get that. Oh, I do want to get 2 achievements in that are not impossible to get for me. So I would like to do that. Who knows? Maybe I'll be able to do it. Maybe I won't. But if anybody else has anything they've been working on, playing, into, watching, feel free to let me know. Remember that friends don't let friends go see Scream 7. Because for a variety of reasons, we're not watching Scream 7. I mean, I'm not watching it because I don't care about those movies, that franchise. But I'm certainly not watching considering all the people that got fired for speaking their minds about Palestine and various other issues going on with that fucking movie. But we certainly are not interested in going to see that. Also, it's supposedly not particularly good. So there's that as well. Some trailers are coming out. We're getting another season of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime is coming out this year. No date, I believe, announced for that. And there is another movie, which will be, I believe, non-canon. I don't think the movie is going to be canon, but it is coming and be available for people to watch, which we were expecting. But I am a fan. I go back. I watched the first season of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime pretty often, pretty regularly. That is part of my rotation of comfort shows. The last few episodes are weird. They did a thing where they wanted a double season, but the first arc kind of ended, and the second arc was going to be long, so they like jumped forward in time to do a small little arc, and then the second season like jumps back in time, which is a weird choice, but that's what they did. So like the end of the first season, I'm like, I don't really need to see this, but the most of the first season I think is really good. So I do come back to that quite a bit. That will be, hey, here's a tease. That will be a part of my next Anime Club video, where I'm talking about 6 shows that I rewatch a lot. Some of which I've talked about on Anime Club before, but yeah, my go-tos, the ones I come back to, because I have done one on like shows I never want to see again, things I liked but I never want to revisit. These are things that I revisit quite often, sometimes yearly, sometimes like every once in a while. But Lori Crashton says, I'm rewatching Last Week Tonight after watching the new episode that eviscerates Twitter Elon Musk. Yes, that is a good episode. I was behind. I am caught up on Last Week Tonight. I'm out of my way to watch a bunch of those. And yeah, it was a good takedown of what happened there and what is happening there. Yeah, it was good business. Let's see if there's anything else going on with me. I've been watching anime, watching a bunch of anime, nothing new there. Watching wrestling. I'm not going to be watching Elimination Chamber because I don't watch WWE stuff anymore. But I will be watching this weekend. Last weekend, there were 2 Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling shows, and they were not streamed, so I'm going to watch them this weekend. And I'm excited for that. I'll watch one tomorrow, one on Sunday. That'll be good. And Collision is it's looking real good this weekend. So I am excited for that. There will be some ladies wrestling, a bunch of ladies, so that's nice to see that. Let's see, that interview bit he showed where Elon's brain fell apart is wild to see. Yes, people who rehearse talking points that are not that they're not natively their own thoughts are often completely flabbergasted when asked a simple follow-up question. Not a gotcha question, which people will say, right? They'll say, oh, you're asking the hard, like, come on. You're trying to trap him, whatever. It's like, no, just like, hey, you said this thing. Could you think a little bit more about the thing you just said? Like, I just want to know more about what you said there. As opposed to just like acknowledging it as a fact or taking it at face value. You can oftentimes just go, what do you mean? And then people will get mad, or their brains will break because they haven't had to follow through on the thought they don't actually believe. It is often pretty fucking wild, or Crash said. Let's see. Yeah, I got the wrestling stuff. I'm going to watch that this weekend. as always. And I'm doing prep, right? Like tomorrow I am moving back into my bedroom with the computer set up, and then I'll do some testing. I'll record a video Friday night for Pat Bear's Anime Club. I got that. I have my deck built for that, so I'm ready on all that stuff. Did that ahead of time. And I'm going to clean up in here and reset this room so that it's ready for Sunday. And then Saturday, I'm going to clean, do even more cleaning, do some outdoor stuff as well. It'll be raining tomorrow, but not on Saturday. It doesn't seem like, so I can get some yard work done. And that's the plan. I made tacos, but I had a pound of ground beef, and I ran out of, I finished up the tortillas that I had. So I'm just going to have to make nachos with the leftovers because I have nacho chips. I have tortilla chips. So I'm going to be forced to make nachos for the leftover ground beef tacos. I finished up my taco seasoning, but also my tortillas. So, oh no, I have to make nachos tomorrow. What a world. How terrible, says Last Work. Indeed. Yeah, it's a nightmare that I'm stuck with living in a world where I'm going to be forced, completely and utterly forced to have nachos for lunch tomorrow. I got a bit of it's weird to say a little bit of experiment this late in the game, but I do have I'm trying to use up stuff from the freezer, and I found at the back of the freezer what appears to be about a half a pound of ground sausage. And I was like, well, I could just cook this up in something and do it in a meatloaf, and there's a bunch of things. But I'm like, you know what I could make? I have fennel seeds. I have Italian seasoning and fennel seeds. I could mix it thoroughly and then cook it up as patties and make sausage burgers. So I think I'm going to do that because I have hamburger buns. I got some hamburger buns. So I'm going to make sausage patties and sausage burgers for dinner tomorrow. And I think that'll be real good. I like those a lot. Put a little cheese on there, put a little ketchup, maybe a little lettuce. And I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. So I'm excited for that. Got some mixed vegetables to eat up. I could do fries with it, or I could do a baked potato. I haven't decided yet. I still have some fries, so I'll probably just do some fries. Burger and fries. I think that goes well. Yeah, I'm just trying to use stuff up. I still have a little bit of celery left, so I think I'm going to do like a tuna salad for Saturday. Just keep something nice and light. And then Sunday, my parents are back, and we're getting a pizza because I was like, do you want me to cook? And they're like, we kind of in the mood for pizza, so we're just going to get pizza from the pizza place. Because apparently where they're staying in Florida is not known for its pizza, but where they're staying is particularly like nobody does good pizza down there in the area they're in. So they're like, we're kind of there's like one good pizza place in this neighborhood. And they're like, we kind of just want to get pizza. And I was like, I'm not going to say no. I haven't had pizza since right before they left because I didn't do Domino's. Because I don't watch the Royal Rumble anymore. And that was always, I would do that when they were gone. And since I didn't watch it this year, I never ended up getting Domino's. I should have at some point. I still could. I could decide I don't want to have tuna salad on Saturday. But I think I'm probably going to. Florida seems like the sort of state that is too much corporate pizza. Yeah. I bet there are good pizza places because there are people who retired to Florida and then got jobs and didn't stay retired because unfortunately, that is not the American way, but it is an American way that some people just don't stay retired. So I'm sure there are some good ones, but with the area my folks are staying in Florida, there's no good pizza place. There was one, but it didn't survive the hurricanes. So we have weapons to build for this kit, so we're not done with this. We're going to finish this kit up on Saturday. Panel lining. My thoughts on the panel lining. I think it helps. I do think it brightens stuff up. I didn't do the chest. I should do that. I should just do that real quick. This part of the chest here. I just hit over in here a little bit. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary to panel line, but I'm happy I did. Because I still think this kit fucking rules, and I'm really glad that I'm working on it. But we will finish this kit up on Saturday. I will build the various accessories, the weapons, and all that. Hell yeah. Still lights up. Still looks fucking rad. But yeah, I'm having a good time with this build. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you can come back on Saturday as I complete this. I do have a model kit to start, and I'll be back in my regular space, back in the bedroom, which should not mean anything to you. There should be no noticeable differences in that. He needs a hat, says Lord Crashington. Oh, it does turn it turns itself off after a while. Good, that's good to know. I didn't know that. The light does turn itself off. But yeah, that's going to do it for tonight's stream. I want to thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope you, as I said, you can come back on Saturday for more building and more hanging out and conversation. We got raided by Lunar Jade, and so we're going to go on a raid. That's the least we could do, is we should pass on the good vibes and go see what people are doing. Let's see, who is streaming right now on a Thursday, and what are they doing? Let's see. I don't know what they're doing there. I want to do that, but we're not going to. Arthur Geese is playing Resident Evil Requiem. So let's go hang out with Arthur. If you don't want any spoilers, maybe you don't have to come along. I mean, you never have to come along in the raid, but if you don't, especially if you don't want spoilers, feel free to skip. But I am interested in finding out what's going on with this game. He seems to be fairly early, or not fairly early on, but maybe still, he's like an hour and something into the stream. So as John says, we always end with a raid. Thanks, John, for saying that. But Arthur, yeah, he's still playing as the woman who is not Leon, the FBI agent, new to the force FBI agent. So we'll go see what's going on there. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope you can hang out again with me on Saturday as I complete big ass Megatron. Look at how big, there's a big old friend. Big old Megatron. Goodbye, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.